You have to have someone who is empathetic and who is understanding, but at the same time you have to have someone who's also able to do difficult things on a day-to-day basis. We all have bad days where we'll break down and cry, and we know that, that's okay, that's normal. You shouldn't feel bad about it. You shouldn't feel like you failed. That just means that you're still in touch with your emotions and things like that, because it's very difficult to balance that, to balance being in touch with your emotions without letting them completely overwhelm you. A lot of people do think that what we do is we come in and we play with dogs and cats, and they'll see these videos and it's a golden retriever standing there perfectly still as we examine its ears. A lot of times that's not how it is. Even the most well-behaved dogs don't like or understand what we're doing, so they don't sit there and cooperate because they don't even know what we want them to do. So it is a very physical job. It requires a lot of lifting, a lot of getting up and down off the ground, a lot of strength at times, because dogs are far stronger than we are in body weight comparison. I've seen 10-pound Chihuahuas take 3 people to hold still. So that, I would say, is probably the biggest misconception, is that, it's easygoing and things like that. It is actually very strenuous at times, mentally, physically, emotionally draining. A lot of people will say, oh, I want to be a vet because I don't like people. And the fact of the matter is that not only do you have to deal with people, you have to deal with people, and one of their family members is essentially what it comes down to a lot of the time. So it's the same as if you're dealing with their sick child, and you'll have people who are stressed out, who don't understand, who can't help them on their own. So they have this huge emotional kind of cloud when they come in, and you have to help ease their pain, at the same time doing what's best for their pet, and then also understand that there are going to be funds that are involved, and that's sometimes what it'll come down to. And it's a difficult discussion to have, and it's difficult to know, do we go all out? Do we try the middle of the road? Do we try the path of least resistance? What is the best for the entire situation, not just the animal, but for the client and for their particular situation? Because we've had, especially recently, a lot of people who had lost their homes in the fire just up the hill, or people who have lost their jobs, or people who are living just off of Social Security, and then they have to be faced with these emergencies and these costs that were completely unplanned. So it's a lot of different aspects of dealing with people, and you do have to be able to do that to be in this field. A huge part of our job is assisting in surgery, not just as an assistant, but monitoring the anesthesia. So we are responsible for making sure that they are at the right anesthetic depth, deep enough to where the surgery can be performed without them feeling anything, but not too deep to where they could potentially slip away. So, and there's a lot more than just the vital signs you have to pay attention to. You also have to pay attention to the patient, to their eye position, to whether or not they have any responses when you're palpating certain areas on their face, and things like that. What their breathing patterns are, what their carbon dioxide levels are. And so there's a lot to it that a lot of people don't understand. And like in human medicine, there's an anesthesiologist that's their one specific job. So it just goes back to how well-rounded you have to be able to do this job.